ambapo maswali na maswala.
Boss TV, where inspiration strikes.
February 2022, happy Valentine's Day from wherever part of the country you are watching us from. I do know that you expected me to be on red, but unfortunately I had to find some blue colors here for my own personal reasons. But of course the show must go on, and we do trust that you are up and running from wherever part you're watching us from this morning. It's chilly here in Mombasa, but we want to make sure that we serve you with the best courtesy of whatever is making headlines and what is happening in the current affairs and nationally, also in the different counties that we have here in the coastal region. And this is one of the informative content programs in Eastern Central Africa, and you can be sure that we will be serving you with all the best courtesy of what we will be talking about. And today, being Valentine's Day, we shift gears from what is happening around our politics, and we want to look issues surrounding the Valentine's Day. Do we even understand the real meaning of Valentine's? How do we get to celebrate Valentine's? You know, I already said out there that Valentine's Day is a day at which we show love and, extend kindness and, among us those who are loved ones particularly. But we have a section of our community here which is quite marginalized. They are a special group. We're talking about people with disability. We have the orphans, widows, and our elderly. How do we get to show love to this kind of group? That is what is our base of discussion. Valentine's, sending out love, or rather Valentine on the special group in the society, is our topic of discussion this morning. And I'll be engaging two people here in studio. My guest number one, I'll be hosting Edwin Shamir, who is the founder and the executive director of Together for Society. This is one of the few entities in the country here, and particularly in Mombasa, that has been so much vocal in talking about matters to do with the special groups and how they have also played a key role in supporting and showing love to the special groups here that I've just mentioned. And will be joining me in studio in his capacity as the founder and the executive director of the Together for Society. What do they do? And also talking about showing love to the marginalized group. How do they do that? He will be explaining me on the same. And also my second guest, Judith Okembe, who is the founder and executive director, Helping Hands Foundation. Helping Hands Foundation is also one of the few entities in the Mombasa County here, which has been quite extending its hand to the less fortunate in the county. She will be explaining to me also what they do, and also how does she feel during this year's Valentine. How far are they gonna be, and how far are they gonna get in showing love to the special group in the society. So that conversation will be coming your way once I'm done by looking at what is making headline, and it will be streamed live on Facebook as well as on your TV set. So you have no reason whatsoever to miss what we'll be doing here this morning. And I want to remind you as well that we'd like you to be part of our conversation and the entire program as well. Share your thoughts, share your feedback. The number is below your screen. You can use the same number to catch us also on WhatsApp. And you can also use the normal text messaging. And also don't forget that we have the comment section on our Facebook page. That is Boss TV, where this program is also streamed live. You can share your comments on the same. And we want to give you an opportunity this morning to share, or rather send a Valentine message to your beloved and your loved one, whether it's your mom, your dad, your fiancé, boyfriend or girlfriend. We have to give you that opportunity. You as our loyal fan and our loyal audience would like to give you that opportunity to send in your love messages and Valentine messages to your loved ones, and we will be relaying them to them, and also we'll read in some of them as we get along with the program this morning. Start sending in your messages and we will be looking at them. This morning, my name is SHADRACK, and unfortunately also I'm not with my sign language interpreter, but we must get things running here. And I want to look at what is making headline so quickly here. And I want to begin from the Daily Nation. Right. I want to begin by looking at what is making headline this morning on the 14th day of February 2022, Daily Nation. And on the front page here of the Daily Nation, I believe also my director has put that up for you to see. It talks about the management of the polls, and IEBC rejects Huduma number. That is what is enlisted on the front page of the Daily Nation. And you're told that in a letter to the members of parliament, the Electoral Agency Chairman Wafula Chebukati says the suggestion to incorporate controversial registration number into polls management comes too late, as it will require lengthy revision of the process and registers. So that is what is happening. And remember, there was that suggestion to include the Huduma number into the polls management. And yes, it did spark a lot of conversation. Politicians from each quarter had their say on this matter, some supporting, some opposing. And now we saw that the IEBC, through its chair, Wafula Chebukati, had written to the members of parliament saying that the incorporation of the Huduma number into the polls management could not be possible due to the time constraints. That is a story on page 4 of the Daily Nation. You grab your copy, read more of whatever is explained here to get updated. And also on the front page of the Daily Nation, on top there's that picture showing you the One Kenya, and rather not One Kenya, it's the Kenya Kwanza Alliance at Baringo. And we're told here it looks into the 2022 campaign trail. Kenya Kwanza leaders, led by Ruto, woos Moi backyard as Azimio pitches camp in Homa Bay. And of course, on the other side of the Daily Nation, on the right side top there, you can see that is a picture of Homa Bay woman representative Gladys Wanga, who yesterday launched his gubernatorial race. And she is set to become the next governor for Homa Bay. And she was escorted there by a number of leaders, women leaders across the country, the likes of Nairobi Governor Anne Kananu Mwendwa. We also saw Kitui Governor Charity Ngilu. We also saw, amongst other, including Nairobi women representative, that is Madam Esther Passaris. But of course, that is what they were doing there in Homa Bay. That is, and also they also campaigned for Raila Odinga, who is the Azimio leader. So that is what is happening on the campaign trail. You can read more of whatever was said there in Baringo as well as in Homa Bay on page 5 and 7 over the 5 and 7 of the Daily Nation. Now, to some economy and whatever is happening within our country's economy and the growth of it is that public debt grew by 1 trillion last year. And we're told here that Nairobi owed 8.2 trillion by last December. And that is what is happening. And according to the National Treasury, it's now seeking parliamentary approval to increase spending by 426.3 billion over the next 6 months, as the government's appetite for loans grows. And this is on the back page of the Daily Nation this morning, looking at how issues are happening within our economy as a country and where we are at in terms of the public debt, something at which has been said to causing some bit of economic problems within our country. And also the Jubilee administration has been quite on the receiving end due to the fact that they've borrowed quite a huge amount from different organizations and different financial entities. So you can check that out in relation to matters of the economy. Now, also on page 10, we are told that judiciary seeks 1 billion more to pay new judges. This is an issue to do with the budget of the judiciary as an arm of government. It's now seeking at least 1 billion to cater for the 34 judges who were appointed last June, and that is what the judiciary is saying, and that is a story on page 10. Now, remember yesterday there was that shocking news and of course sad news of that fire tragedy at Limuru area along the Maimayu, Nairobi Road. And a truck explosion leaves trail of damage and causes road closure. And a truck which was ferrying liquefied petroleum gas burst into flames near Maimayu yesterday, burning several other cars and causing a traffic mayhem that lasted the whole day yesterday. And that is what was trending for the better part of yesterday. But so far, we have not been told if anyone has died, but we have a couple of people who are receiving treatment at different hospitals in Limuru. And that is what is on the front page also. On below there, you can see that picture of the cars that were burned there and left with ashes. And that is what is on page 8. Last but not least, on matters about Valentine, remember today it's Valentine's Day, and it's not just fun. Red really is a color of love, research shows, and we are told here that there is quite a number of articles looking into how Valentine happens, and you can check that out as well to read and understand. Now, I want to go straight into the Standard newspaper. Also, I've got the Standard newspaper with me here in studio, and I want to touch a little bit concerning it. Yes, my director can put that up for you to see as well. And on the front page of the Standard, there's quite a lot to talk about. First and foremost, the biggest story and listed as the topmost there, written in splash, is that 6 dragons voters want leaders to slay. And too many Kenyans have been denied quality education, locking them out of jobs and confining them to poverty. And voters want economy fixed, agriculture revamped, and steps taken to reduce inequality. And those are some of the few issues that Kenyans want to be addressed as for those who seek to become president. And according to the State of the Nation here, in a nutshell, is that 17.2 million is the number of poor Kenyans, and the rural poor spends less than 3,250 per month, while in urban centers, people are spending less than 6,000. And also 3.4 million are the number of people who have no academic certificates, meaning they are locked out of modern jobs that require skills and innovations. And that is also another matter that Kenyans want it to be addressed. And we also move on, and we are told here that 2 in 5 people in West Pokot, Turkana, and Garissa with access to formal financial services, they remain locked out on bank loans, and 42% of the households in the city of Nairobi have access to pipe water, but water in slums is contaminated, exposing families to health risks. And that is what few issues that Kenyans want to be addressed. But in a nutshell, whatever we can draw out from this article on page 4 and 5 of the Standard is that Kenyans want the issue about the economic fix, agriculture revamping, and the steps taken to reduce the inequality, as also they seek to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor in the country. So you can grab your copy and read that as well. Now, still on the front page of the Standard, on top there we see a picture of that is a CS for Education, Professor George Magoha, who defended CBC last week. And also, without that, it also talks about auditor queries, varsity funding, as CS defends CBC. And this is a story on page 13 and 14, where the Education Ministry is accused of frustrating public university, as report raises questions about how the institutions are funded. And now Mogoha also says that the new curriculum is here to stay, despite politicians, a section of politicians saying that they want it scrapped off. Okay. And also on matters about the general election, we are told here that Kenyan politics is more like an ethnic census. Given this scenario, some regions are poised to play a major role in influencing who becomes the 5th president, and we crunch the numbers. And the numbers have been crunched on page 6 and 7 here, according to the Standard. and it gives you a map showing you how it's quite a tyranny of numbers and how it really matters for this year's general election. And I want to give you the numbers of each and of the 8 regions that we are having in the country. We start off in Rift Valley, where it has the most voters in the country, 5.3 million, and followed closely by Central Kenya, where it has 3.1 million. Then we also have in Nyanza, there is 3 million, in Western, 2 million, and we also have in Coastal Region, we have 1.9 million. We also have Nairobi County having 2.5 million, and last but not least, we have the Northern Eastern Province that has got 866,000 of the votes, and also areas that are said to be playing out as the swing votes, and which can determine the way forward over who becomes president. You can check that out, is on page 6, and you can read more of whatever is happening here and understand as well. Now, what matters about Valentine, there is quite an article on page 3 talking about how this day is said to be celebrated. And yes, it's a day to cherish romance, love, and the issues about Valentine. And also in Kenya here, it says that Kenyans will be marking this day, and we will be also seeking to find out how different Kenyans have made it easy to celebrate Valentine despite the harsh economic times, and that is what is be happening. And like I mentioned earlier, we will give you an opportunity to send in your Valentine messages to your loved one. You can do so, and also you can talk to us and tell us who exactly is your Valentine today, and what are you looking forward to this big day, whether if you have a dinner date or not, let us know, and we will also be happy for you, and we will be sharing your message to your direct recipient. That is what is happening also on page 3 of the Standard. Now remember, I can't go through the entire newspaper. It's up to you now to grab your copy, read whatever is enlisted to get updated, and make sure also to stay put with us, as we will be seeking also to follow up for you some of these issues, and make sure you get updated. Now, Star newspaper. Let's go straight into the Star newspaper. And you're told here, cracks emerge in Azimio camp. And this is a story that relooks into the infighting within the Azimio campaign teams. And we're told here that party bigwigs feel increasingly left out in planning meetings. And the void left by Raila Odinga's absence from rallies has worsened the situation, where some individuals within the Azimio are feeling they are being left out in the campaign trails across the country. And we've seen during this week where the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has been in the Indian country, he says that even though he's out, there has been campaigns going round, and inside those campaigns, there is something that is happening, according to the Star, and it says here that there are cracks that have emerged in the Azimio camp, and the absence of Raila has worsened the situation. What is this situation, and what can we look forward to? You can read that on page 6 and understand some of the infights, and what is exactly escalating the fights is enlisted on page 6 of the Star. Now below there is that picture showing you the Limuru accident and the fire tragedy. 7 injured as 7 cars burned in a tanker explosion in Limuru across Maimayu and Nairobi Highway. That is on page 2. And also on matters about the election pledge, we told that Raila in India to benchmark for 6K welfare plan. And we're told that the former Prime Minister, Baba, is in India to benchmark on a few matters, amongst which includes the 6K pledge that he has been talking about. And He's also there in capacity as a presidential candidate. And yesterday he met with the Indian Prime Minister, and there is pictures of him going around social media on how they did have some bit of talks in also matters about the relations between India and Kenya. Last but not least, Ruto's Mount Kenya blitz ahead of Kenyatta's tour. We are told that the Deputy President William Ruto has foiled out an intense sham offensive to counter ODM boss Raila Odinga's fortune in President Uhuru Kenyatta's Mount Kenya staff. But according to the Star, it has established that Ruto will lead his Kenya Kwanza team for a 6-day tour, culminating the grand reception of Gatundu South Member of Parliament, Moses Kuria, who is set to be jetting into the country from Dubai later this week. So that is what is happening on page 1, and that is a story that you can find also in the innermost pages over the Standard this morning. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, that is what is happening this morning on the newspaper review. And I want to look at also what is making headline here on the People's Daily. And we're told that 3 billion bribery claims rocks Kalonzo's bot. And this is a story here on page 1 of the People's Daily, if my director can put that up for you to see. And we're told that one Kenya team says that Ukambani governors made a sensational allegation over the weekend, something that is likely to impact major talks. And we are told here, according to Alfred Mutua, we know we have asked for 3 billion to sell our Kamba community for own interests. And also we have Dan Maanzo, who says here, there is nothing like that. We want Raila to come personally and tell our people why he cannot support him. And that is what is happening here. And this can kind of shape the way forward over the Ukambani region in relation to whom they are to support in the general election. Last but not least, after Indian tour, we are told that Raila Odinga returns to a full Azimio trail. And this is a story on the front page of the People's Daily. There you can see the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga together with the Indian Prime Minister Mr. Modi, where he did pay a courtesy call during his visit to India. And according to this story, he spoke about a number of issues, including how he seeks to get support from India in relation to his presidential stab. And that is what is happening on page 8 over the People's Daily. Now, last but not least, let's look at what is making headline also on the Taifa Leo. And remember, we have the Taifa Leo that, of course, is being distributed in the coastal region. And on the front page of the Taifa Leo, being a Kiswahili newspaper, we must shift and talk some bit of Kiswahili here. And ODM yaingia hofu kwa kumezwa. Unaambiwa kwamba wakuu wa chama cha Raila wanahofia huenda kindana wao akigeuzwa kuwa rais kinyago, akishinda iwapo atakosa idadi kubwa ya wabunge na maseneta wa chama chake. Na unaambiwa kwamba ODM sasa imeanza kuingiza hofu kutokana na kuona dalili za kumezwa. Na kutokana na hilo, unaambiwa kwamba viongozi wa chama cha Raila sasa wana wasiwasi huenda washirika wake katika Azimio wakawalemea, na pia imewatia wasiwasi baadhi ya wale ambao pia wameonyesha ari ya kutaka kuwania viti kupitia chama cha ODM, wakisema kwamba huenda hali halisi hii ya kushinda kura kupitia chama hiki kikawa ngumu, kutokana pia na jinsi baadhi ya vyama vimeweza kuungana na mrengo huo wa Azimio. Tukiachana na hayo, katika swala lingine la ugavana Kilifi, unaambiwa kwamba wakili George Kithi jana alizindua safari yake ya kuwania ugavana katika kaunti ya Kilifi kwenye tiketi ya chama cha PA. Na miongoni mwa wale pia ambao wamemezea mate kiti hicho ni pamoja na Gideon Mung'aro ambaye alikuwemo katika serikali ya Rais Uhuru Kenyatta akihudumu kama waziri msaidizi, katibu msaidizi. Na pia tuko na Aisha Juma kupitia chama cha UDA, pamoja na spika wa sasa wa bunge la kaunti hiyo ya Kilifi Bwana Jimmy Kahindi, ambaye pia analenga kuwa gavana kwenye kupitia tiketi cha chama cha ODM. Lakini kumbuka kwamba Mng'aro na Kahindi watakuwa wakimenyana kwenye mchujo, na pia tuliweza kukupatia taarifa ya pale jana ambapo waliweza kuzozana kutokana na hali hiyo. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni taarifa katika ukurasa wa 4 wa Taifa Leo. Na pia pamoja na hilo unaambiwa kwamba Balala atoa sababu za kutojiuzulu. Huyu ni waziri wa utalii Bwana Najib Balala, ameelezea matumaini ya kuwa ndani ya serikali ijayo na ndio sababu kuu iliyompelekea yeye kutojiuzulu. Na pia mwisho kabisa pale katika ukurasa wa 5, barabara za kutisha eneo la Pwani. Hii kutokana na utovu wa usalama wafanya wasafiri na usafiri kutatiza wengi wanaposafiri kutokana na magaidi kusababisha hali moja ambayo si sawa kabisa pale. Na kuna picha inayoonyesha jinsi mabasi yalivyofunga msororo kufuatia masuala hayo ya kusafiri. Na wiki jana pia tuliona maafisa wa jeshi wakiweza kukita kambi katika barabara kuu kuelekea Malindi na Kilifi katika kuhakikisha kwamba wanakagua wale wasafiri ili waweze kubaini ni nani msafiri halali na ni nani pengine hapaswi kusafiri. Na ndiyo taarifa hizo ambazo zimenakiliwa katika ukurasa wa kwanza wa Taifa Leo. Unaweza kujitwalia nakala, usome kiundani, upate kuelewa zaidi. Kumbuka letu ni kukujuza tu juu, alafu unatafuta nakala yako. Na pia usisahau kwamba kutokana na taarifa kama hizi kuwa chipukizi hapa katika Taifa Letu, tutaweza kufuatilia kwa karibu na kukujuza. Na usisahau kwenye misururu yetu ya taarifa hapo baadaye pamoja na vipindi vyetu, itakuwa ni wajibu wetu kukupatia taarifa hizo kwa kina. Lakini kwa sasa nataka nichukue mapumziko mafupi, ikiwa zimekatika dakika 30 baada ya saa 1. Na tunapoondoka usisahau kwamba mazungumzo yetu siku ya leo yatakuwa kuhusiana na siku ya wapendanao. Lakini tutaweza kutoka kidogo kutoka na dhana ya kwamba siku hii ni ya wale ambao wanapendana tu, kama tuseme mume au mke. Lakini leo tunaangazia wale ambao hawajiwezi kwenye jamii. Sisi tutaweza vipi kuonyesha upendo kwao? Ndiposa tutaweza kuzungumza na Bwana Edwin pamoja na mwenzake ambao watakuwa hapa ndani ya studio kuelezea haswa, pamoja na wale mashirika ambao wanafanyia kazi, wao wamejipanga vipi kuhakikisha kwamba wanaonyesha upendo kwa watu wasiojiweza katika jamii. Edwin Shamir anatokea katika shirika la Together for Society, atakuwa hapa kujieleza kiundani zaidi, pamoja na Bi Judith Okebe ambaye pia atakuwa hapa kutoka katika shirika la Helping Hands Foundation. Watakuwa hapa kujadili nami kuhusiana na siku hii ya wapendanao. Kwa hivyo mpenzi mtazamaji, mazungumzo haya yatakuwa na kukujia katika lugha ya Kimombo. Kwa hivyo usiende mbali na usiondoke na usizalia papo hapo. Na kumbuka pia nimekujuza kwamba tunakupatia fursa ya kutuma ujumbe kwa wale ambao unawapenda siku hii ya Valentine. Unawasilisha ujumbe wako mfupi pale kwenye mtandao wa kijamii Facebook. Unaniambia tu siku yako hii na salamu zako pamoja na jumbe zako za Valentine zinamwendea nani na kwa nini.